Yeah.
Dude, people are so weird. These people in the chat, sometimes I hope he can get through to Keem to get through his audience. For what are you? Like, what are you? Are you like, are you running some weird like propaganda for some organization?
Maybe they want you to change so that
represent
your audience
yourself.
will change.
I feel like
what is wrong with my audience? Like, what are we
Well, no, listen,
about?
I'm not a bad person, but like some things that you say can be not good.
When did this turn from entertainment to like
I mean, like we've talked about it already.
Like political movements? Like what the
Dude,
fuck?
Dude, that's the way so many of these people fucking are.
Where are we
in the
right
chat.
now?
It's so ridiculous.
Okay, these people in the Papa Gut chat and all
The
these chats
the best
all
chat.
around.
No.
Dude, you live in a shame culture, right? Your job is to get up, go online, shame, bad person, shame, bad person. That's your whole existence.
It's called accountability culture. Okay.
No. It's Loserville. It's Loserville.
It's called
Loserville.
Do you think that some of them are just upset with the way that maybe you talk about some different things?
Yeah, you can back them up all you want.
Yes.
But it's Loserville.
Oh,
These motherfuckers just run around. They're sad. They're depressed, and they go online to find bad people. They're hunting all day for bad people to make themselves feel good.
I think that they.
Yes,
I think
that
they.
is a big,
no,
yes,
listen.
It is.
Some of them
yes,
maybe. Some of the Keemstar.
The people in the chat.
Some people probably do that. Okay, but
one in the chat.
There are plenty. There are plenty.
One in the chat. If that's what
if they agree with you, that means that they are not that person, right? But anyway, here's the thing, Keemstar. There are plenty of problematic takes that you have that people be like, yeah, I find this to be kind of shitty, and they're just watching the content and they're seeing people interact with you. So then they're just like, yeah, this is shitty. I didn't like when Keemstar did this. Maybe that's it. Maybe some of the responsibility lies on you.
No, the people that exist and online, the ones that are the most vocal, most people just sit here, watch. They're not even typing in the chat, right? But the vocal ones, like their whole job is to just go online, find some messed up stuff so they can call them out and shame that person. Bad person, you're a bad person.
Well,
you're a bad person.
Don't you do that sometimes on your platform?
It's so weird. They don't even know these content creators personally. Like,
but
do you genuinely care at the end of the day if like a content creator says something like a little off color? Like, are you going to bed? Like,
well, yeah, but I think we're conflating a little off color to some things that are much worse than off color. I mean, like I'm not trying to get into the conversation.
Like saying the R word.
No, not like really saying the R word. Like, making generally invalidating claims about sexual assault.
What if it's funny?
Well, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, okay. I don't think Keemstar was trying to be funny when he made the claim. Right? That's what people are referring to.
I don't know what he said. I wasn't listening.
I'm just reading to the chat. No. It's literally that's the culture that we're in right now. And you said something like, well, don't you call people? Yeah, I do from time to time. Like the Sniper Wolf is a great example. Like she deserved to be called.
Well, then
out.
what about other examples that aren't so
But for the most for most of the time, if you watch my show, all right.
Well, it's not on YouTube anymore.
Well, if you watch my show on Snapchat or on YouTube, when I'm covering news, I just talk about it, right? But what most people do now is bad person, shame. It's just so disgusting. Like, call me a gnome. Make fun of me that I dye my beard. Talk shit. Stop doing this shame stuff.
Maybe they think you're a bad person.
The audience, but I'm not a bad person. All right.
Well, yeah, but after some of the things that you've said, I'll quickly reference the Jake Paul situation. And
I am just a person.
And
I am not a bad person. I am not a good person.
Okay.
I am a person.
All right. Very person-centered. Okay.
The audience needs to talk shit. The audience needs to be funny. The audience needs to do what the audience is supposed to do. This whole shame thing is not funny. You're not entertaining me. All right.
Well, they're not here to entertain you. They're here
yes, they are.
No, they're not.
The chat is here to entertain us.
You are certainly.
The chat is here to entertain us.
You certainly have main character energy in Keemstar. I'll tell you that much.
This is online entertainment.
Why should I entertain any of you if you're not going to entertain me? Oh, you're bad. Oh, you're that's not funny, bro.
They're not trying to be funny. They're telling you that you've said some really shitty things.
But I'm not at church. I'm not at counseling. I'm on the internet for entertainment. All right.
Okay.
Be entertaining. Every single one of you.
Maybe you should watch. Maybe you should watch videos, long form videos, and that would be entertaining for you.
Listen, people crying and all this stuff and being upset and mad isn't really like entertaining. It's just not. It's not. talking shit and being funny is what's entertaining.
Well,
Like,
again,
come on.
sometimes you go into a realm where you say fucking shit that a bad person would say. And I think that's what people are upset about when it comes to you.
Like what? What's the worst thing I've ever said?
I don't know the worst thing you've ever said, but obviously I've brought up 2 examples before. One of them was that whole situation with like the can't she just get the dick out of her mouth argument. And the other one would be call me Carson.
I did not say that. I did not say that. I asked a question. I said,
okay,
can't she just turn her head?
So
and I started off that video. I started off that video saying, hey, I need your opinion because I'm confused on this. I'm not a girl. I don't suck dicks. I'm sorry, Papa God. I don't.
Okay.
So I had to ask some questions because I was confused.
So here's the thing. We obviously disagree. Your framing was more comedic than that. But either way, that doesn't really matter because after Paige and I sat down and explained to you the problem with that, you just didn't agree with, like, you were just like, I'm just a man, I don't care. So it seemed like you didn't really care to engage in the conversation.
No.
You're more interesting
We had a good conversation about it.
Okay. So
you're doing what Def
I'm not doing
does.
Def Noodles. Let me ask you a question. After that conversation, do you feel like you were wrong in some way about the way that you asked that question, or rather, do you understand now why people just can't move and get their dick out of their face when they're being raped?
I don't really understand. I still don't understand. Like, why can't you just like not let that happen?
Okay.
I don't get it. I'm not a girl.
I know that you're not a girl, but I feel like this one isn't like. I feel like this one doesn't need to be like super nuanced here. Like women, when it comes to an interaction between a guy and a girl, there are obviously power dynamics that exist. They're not all bad. The existence of one doesn't mean that it's instantly abusive. However, when you have a situation with a guy, fundamentally, who is in almost every case going to be physically stronger than a girl, it makes it really difficult for a girl to say no. She might say no and he might disagree, and at that point, it comes down to that woman doesn't want to get hurt, so they will submit, not in a consensual way, so that they don't get hurt. Why is that funny, though?
Somebody in the chat said, I generally think Keemstar is a bad person.
Well, yeah, but you see, you're more interested in, yeah, but now we're having a conversation about like sexual assault and like this, and now you're looking at the chat instead of engaging in the conversation, right? So this seems like you're not interested in a response. It seems like you were trying to be antagonistic.
You guys immediately heard the story and you said this is true because you believe all women.
No, but that's not. But we're not talking about that, right? So because I was very clear.
No,
that's not at all what happened. I'm not part of the drama community. Keemstar. This isn't
two people having a conversation. But me and you are both having a
conversation.
But
this is an improper framing of the way that I approach the topic. So that doesn't represent what I ever said about it. What I said is I completely understand.
What I'm asking you is
sure.
What I'm asking you is do you believe all women?
No, I think that you should listen to all potential victims.
Okay, so I heard her story. I personally did not find it believable. And I asked questions to gather more information.
Well, why didn't you find it believable? Like, what's the kingpin reason why?
I think one of the questions I had was, in that scenario where, allegedly Jake Paul got on top of her and inserted his, erected penis in her mouth. My question was, couldn't she turn her head? Why did she allow the penis to go in her mouth?
Sure. Is that a question? So, okay, let me approach.
The question was, can't you turn your head? Like,
sure.
Why are you
Okay. So I want
the penis enter into your mouth?
Let me start from the beginning because I want to really quick. So if you said, I don't want to talk about this topic because I don't think that there was enough information displayed, that's fair. That's a perfectly valid reason not to talk about it. You don't have to believe her story or anything. You don't have to cover it. We've kind of moved past that. So now what you're saying is one of the reasons you think she might be lying is because, well, can't you just turn your head? So at that point, we know it no longer hurt. This situation with them doesn't necessarily matter. We're having a general conversation where if anybody was ever sexually assaulted in the mouth, you're now speaking to them and asking them, why couldn't you have moved your head? That is what's happening. That's why people are upset. It's a generally invalidating.
No, stop.
Okay.
Stop. This is not a general thing. I'm talking about her story. No, it's not. She told a story. I listened to all the details of her story, everything she said. All right. There was no, I was afraid that Jake would start punching me. There was no like fear. I'd listened to every word that girl
Well,
said.
that's not necessarily how
And-
things
and
manifest.
In
but-
the scenario that she put forward, I'm hearing the story and I'm like, it doesn't seem like it would happen that way. And so I ask questions. And if you want to get mad at someone asking questions, trying to learn, trying to educate,
But I don't think that
right?
you are, because
Then-
every time I pick up a
no,
decent point,
I was. And this goes back to my point, right? When I asked that question to try to get more understanding, it was, you're a bad person, shame,
I know, but
shame,
now we're
shame.
here
But
talking about it in a more nuanced
You
way.
backed it up. You backed it up. And you said that's why they're saying that is because you asked that question. And
Yeah.
so you're backing up my point. That is the
What
culture
do you
of the
mean?
internet today.
Well, no, but Keemstar.
the other day,
Oh
the
my
other
God.
day,
ahead, Keem.
who's the transgender Twitch person?
Keffels?
I don't know.
Keffels.
Okay.
Keffels was talking about somebody doxing her, and she put out a tweet saying they doxed my dead name, and I was confused. I don't know what a dead
They said
name
that they
is.
doxed and showed their dead name, but I understand what you're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, whatever. But I don't know what a dead name is. So I
Okay.
just tweeted at her, what does a dead name mean?
Okay.
Right? That's it. That's all I said. Instantly, there were like 50 quote tweets calling me transphobic. She called me transphobic.
Okay.
The tweet blew up like I was being some transphobic monster. The internet, right? These people in chat, the people on Twitter, it's shame, shame, shame.
Okay.
Bad person. We got you. They go online every single day trying to find something to get upset
Okay, but
about.
we've gotten
to
very
make
far
themselves
away
feel better.
from.
No, it's
we
all
have
connected.
no. It's no.
It's all
Keem,
connected.
we start.
When you're
Okay.
being attacked for asking questions.
Keemstar. First
to have
of all,
better understanding.
understand that.
No, because I did ask.
God.
Someone in the chat said, "Well, ask your girlfriend." I've asked many girls, and a lot of girls agreed with me. They're like, "Yeah, I would have not let that happen."
Okay, can I ask you a question then? What would you have done if you turned your head? Like, what happens next if she just turns her head?
I mean, multiple things could have happened.
Sure, he could have
got-
stopped, or he could have hurt her. So that's kind of where we're at here.
He could have stopped, or he could have hurt her. I think there's more possibilities than that.
Oh, sure. I mean, I think
But, like,
we're
is
again.
Jake
No,
Paul-
I don't want to. No, because here's the thing. We're doing. I don't want you to get. Okay. Again, once
me
you
ask you a question.
well, hold on.
Do you think-
Once you ask the question about why couldn't you have turned your head, we're now talking about every single person who's been in a scenario where they were being sexually assaulted and they didn't turn their head. Now you're asking them, why is it your fault? That's what
stop
people.
going general. Stop
No,
going
because we
general.
have
We're
to go.
talking
We know
about
we're
Jake
no,
Paul.
we're not. No, we're not.
Stop doing
Keemstar,
that. because
Keemstar,
you're
that's not.
trying
No,
to-
I'm not
you're
trying to do
to pander
anything.
to other victims.
No,
You're trying to pander to other victims.
Keemstar, I'm not pandering to
You're being
anybody.
dishonest.
Keemstar,
You're being
this is
dishonest.
what people
Let me
feel.
ask you a
No,
serious
you're just
question.
denying the reality.
No,
This is
we're
how people
talking
feel.
about
People
this
use
scenario.
made. No, we're not.
This scenario.
We're not. The second you ask a general question that any single person that was sexually assaulted in the face identifies with, you made it a generally invalidating
You
question.
said two
This
things
isn't
could
about.
happen.
I
One,
already
you
said
said
that you
two
don't
things
have to
could happen.
believe that she was sexually assaulted, but like the way that you went about saying that, like I don't. You said one of the reasons why you don't think so is because she didn't move her head. Now you're saying that every single person who's sexually assaulted in the face, it's partly their fault for being sexually assaulted.
You said two
That's
things
what's
could
happening.
happen. You said
Okay.
he would either leave and stop, or he would beat her. I think multiple different
Could.
things could happen.
Could.
Do you really think Jake Paul's going to beat up some girl?
It's not. This isn't about Jake Paul anymore. It's a generally
It is
invalid.
about
No,
Jake
it
Paul.
isn't.
See,
It's
you
not.
wanna
It's not.
generalize
And
to
also,
pander to
no. It's not,
victims.
bro.
You're generalizing. You
It's not a
stop talking
pander to
about Everyone
victims.
else other than these two in the scenario.
No, it's not.
Did I
It's
upload
not
a
about
video-
pandering to victims
did
at
I upload
all.
a video talking in general terms, or was I talking about that scenario?
Keemstar.
Then why are
Again,
we talking in general terms?
because I've
You're
explained.
doing that to pander.
No, I'm not, dude. You can't just say because somebody is trying to represent sexual assault survivors that they're just pandering. Not everything can be a virtue signal, right? Like if I was pandering to sexual assault survivors, I would never talk to you again. I'm trying to have a legitimate conversation with you to try to get through why what you're saying is wrong. If I wanted to pander, I would have been bad Keemstar,
I didn't
and
say anything wrong. I asked
you, but
the
you,
question.
no, I know, but the
Ask
question,
the
question
all
was
wrong.
generally invalidating, and you could have been like, you know what, I didn't realize that, and that's really all we need. But you're doubling down, saying that like it's not generally invalidating to ask a woman that was sexually assaulted or a person in the face, well, why didn't you just turn your head? Because that's what you're saying to every single person who has a similar trauma. That's why people are upset. And it's
They
okay.
asked that question based on the scenario that she described.
But you also said it
keep
was
going
one
to
of the
general.
reasons. You said it was one of the reasons why you don't believe her story. If you said I don't think there's enough information, that's why you don't believe her story. That's perfectly fine. But you said one of the reasons was because why didn't she just turn her head?
She laid out a story. And I haven't seen this in a long time. But the way she laid it out, from my recollection, is that she went into the room. She was hanging out with him. She kissed him. She said that she didn't want to do more, and then she's laying on the bed from kissing.
Okay.
He undoes his pants, and he just plops his thing in her mouth, and I'm just like, whoa, like,
Well,
Okay, but like, what
if
about
she
that
says
is?
she doesn't want to do more, and then he does
Yeah.
that. Isn't the assumption that she would have that if I turn my head, he'll do something because he said?
Yeah, if he's not listening to a boundary set.
If he's not listening to me now, why would he listen to me if I like turn my head and say no? You know?
Why does she have to? If she's like, I don't want to do this, and then he continues to go, why? It's not unreasonable for her to think that he could hurt her.
Yeah, I agree.
It's also not reasonable. Like, I mean, you weren't there. Like,
You're right.
potentially
for
none
sure.
of
But that
potentially none of this happened.
Sure, you're right. It may not have ever happened. And again, you don't have to believe her on face value. You could think what you want to think. You could stay out of it if you want. But when you make generally, like, I don't think that she was sexually assaulted because she didn't move, she didn't turn her head and get the penis. That's invalidating to survivors.
Do you think if someone comes out public, right, on the internet, right,
Okay.
they're opening themselves for someone to either believe their story or not believe it, right?
Sure.
Isn't that fair game to
Yes.
believe or not believe?
Sure.
In this scenario, I didn't find her credible based on everything she said.
Sure, but again, one of the things
it come across. I'm sorry, it didn't come across credible. And then I had a question because I'm not a girl.
Yeah, but
Like,
I'm answering the question. Paige answered the question, and you refuse to take the answer. So it suggests that you don't really want an answer.
But
You're being antagonistic.
Your answer is
it's the answer.
Your answer is, and what you've always said is like, well, if she didn't do that, she could possibly get beat up.
Yeah, if she establishes that she doesn't want to do it, and he violates that boundary, then that means that So if you say please stop,
we're saying the same thing.
Okay,
We're saying the same thing.
keep going.
But we are talking about a scenario with a celebrity, Jake Paul. Now, do celebrities beat girls or beat other people? Sure, happens all the time. But like the chances of this happening just seems so unlikely that Jake Paul is gonna just start punching and beating up some girl.
Sure, it doesn't have to escalate to punching or beating up. It could escalate to him like grabbing her by the head and forcing it anyway. Like this is the thing, because let's pull it away from Jake Paul and this girl. If it was another girl, right, and they had said that like some random guy off the street sexually assaulted them in the mouth, would you have the same response of why didn't you just turn your head?
Yeah, I don't. So many girls have told me like, yeah, I would have. Like,
so then we're at a point where like now we're talking about the specific act of a girl who like a response could be freezing up after asserting, I don't want this. In a scenario, yeah, where a guy is sexually assaulting a girl in the face, and you're saying, well, why didn't they just do more to stop it? Well, how come you're not placing the blame on the guy who's raping the girl in the face?
I did talk to a girl when I was in LA last summer, and she explained to me the story of her freezing up, and she told her story, and like it was really believable. And like this girl didn't. I don't think there was anything about her freezing up. Like I don't.
Didn't you just say she froze up? What do you mean?
Did she say that? I don't.
No. Oh no, I was talking about. Oh no, I was talking. Okay. Wait. Hold on. I got confused. I think I just got confused. I mixed up. Okay. All right. I just wanted like I just want to be clear. Like it's okay if you don't believe that Logan, like Jake or whatever, Paul. I had asked you like the next thing I talked about is like just this like it's a different scenario. It was just a guy and a girl, and he was raping her in the face, and you had agreed that like you still think they should have moved out of their face. But then you told me about a survivor. Well, hold on. I got so much real quick before I forget this point. I'm sorry for interrupting.
But the other thing about this is at the time when it came out and I asked these questions, everyone's like, Keem, you're on the wrong side of history.
Well,
She's
yeah,
going
because
to
you
the
said them
cop.
in a way that
She's
could be
hold on,
misconstrued
hold
as
on, hold on. You just
joking.
cut me off before I can finish my
Okay,
point.
Okay.
Okay. She's going to the cops. She's filing a police report. She's filing a lawsuit. And she came out publicly and said that she's doing all these things. Where's the lawsuit? Where's the cop? Where's the arrest? Like, where's all this stuff that she did?
Okay.
Like, did she even do it?
Yeah, I
So
think there's a lot of good questions to ask about the scenario.
but that's
the question of the question of why didn't she turn her head? Like the answer is just pretty simple. It's like,
yeah, like if you're like,
she
hey,
could have beat him up.
if
It's
she-
just a dumb question.
if
in
you
my opinion,
if you showed that she made invalid claims, I could see where you're coming from. But again, when we retracted it and we put it on just a guy and a girl, two random people, where he's like sexually assaulting her in the face, and then I said, do you think that that's still a reasonable question? You said yes. It's like, why didn't she just move? That's what you had said when we weren't talking about Jake or the Paul brother or whatever, right? And then you started to talk about a story of a girl who was talking about like how she froze up, her trauma response. So how come you're not applying that to any other scenario outside of Jake Paul? Like now we're just talking about like a hypothetical on the street. Like, do you think like that's what we're talking about now? Like, how come you don't fundamentally, not in this situation, understand that it's not as easy? Like once you assert a boundary, if I don't want this,
I do have a better understanding of the freeze thing. I just want like people to understand. I am not a fucking girl. Like,
yeah, but it's not that difficult to understand this point.
In my mind, if anyone was trying to do something like that, I'm fighting. I'd
Okay,
rather
but
die.
you're not. But like you're not.
I would rather die.
But you're not.
Nobody is.
Well, guys can
assaulting me.
get
I
raped
will
by
die.
the way. Like at this point.
Yeah, but if someone is trying to rape me, you're gonna have to kill me.
Okay, but not.
I
don't. Not everybody is going to forfeit their life in that scenario.
I will forfeit my life.
Okay, and you know what? I believe you. But do you think everybody should kill themselves if somebody tries to rape them? Don't you think that that's why are you less? Why aren't you more aggressive for the guy?
It's hard for me to not have that mindset.
Okay, but like you understand that in this scenario,
understand.
another person is aggressing, and you're focusing on the interaction of the person being aggressed onto. Right? That's like if somebody hit me with a car and they're like, well, maybe you should have been 50 steps to the right. Why did you even go outside? That's the questions that you're asking. Like the person being assaulted is within their like the proper parameters of interaction. The other person is the aggressor and is the one that's wrong, but you're finding the fault in the person that is having their bodily autonomy taken away from them from somebody who is shown that they're not going to stop once a boundary is asserted, and the person doesn't want to die, so they submit.
Well, I understand like a lot of the stuff, but the I don't know. I don't get the fucking just opening my mouth part. Like I just turn your hat. Like I don't get
I know,
it.
but like if
I don't fucking get it. I'm never gonna get it. I'm never gonna understand
I think you will. Hold on. Let me
it.
okay, let's just do the scenario real quick. Guy and a girl, right? So the guy is forcing himself onto her, and she's like, I don't want to do that. She asserts, this is something I do not want to do, but he continues anyway. This guy is 6'5". He's 250 pounds of pure muscle. This girl is 120 pounds and she's 5 foot tall. After she says, I don't want to do this, stop, and he continues, do you think it's reasonable for her to believe that he might hurt her if she continues to try to set this boundary?
I mean, I guess.
I mean, we've made progress. I could, like, Jesus Christ, it's like bold fucking teeth.
I guess. But you're bringing up a scenario where it's like way more threatening than the actual story that was told.
Well, sure.
When I'm talking about the story with Jake Paul, I'm not hearing this like he's going to beat me up. He's threatening me. He's being aggressive. Like I'm not hearing that.
And that's
in that
fine
story.
Because I'm not educated on that enough to talk about the specific story. That's why
I haven't seen it in such a long time.
Sure,
to be
but
honest.
We're talking about more like independent of that story. If you're like, I don't think that she's telling the truth because of whatever, but if we apply a similar scenario just to the mouth, like sexual assault part, you're like, yeah, I could see why somebody would be more afraid. Okay, I get that. But like that's what we're focusing on is like, you know, there's a significant power dynamic between men and women. Usually men are just almost always stronger than women. And people who are trying to assault people are almost always it's more about the power that they have over somebody. So they seek out weaker targets.
I think 100%, you know, a female can be scared and go with the stuff, but 100%, absolutely 100%. But that's not the story she told. The
I-
way she told the
Okay,
story
okay,
was
all right.
so like I'm talking about this case and how she explained it. And maybe she's a bad communicator. Maybe she was under a lot of pressure and she didn't get her words out. But also, maybe this isn't true. Like, how come there isn't a fucking lawsuit, at least? How come
Sure,
there
well,
isn't?
I mean, that gets down to like, do you think anybody would credibly believe them? Listen,
How
again,
come-
maybe she's lying. I don't know. I have no idea. I haven't really watched it, so
She
I can't
told
tell you.
the internet she was going to the cops.
Okay.
Like,
No,
where's the
listen,
police
but
report?
I am not criticizing you for not covering the story. I've been very consistent about, I understand why maybe you feel like there's not enough information. I totally get that. But like, all I'm focused on is like, hey, like, and I just want to be re-asked because it seems like you gave like the answer that I was looking for. In that scenario I said before with like a huge guy forcing himself onto a girl, to understand why she would submit to, because of the threat to her personal autonomy.
I don't know.
You don't, you said yes before. Why are you, why like 100?
Hey, wait. I didn't hear your question.
Oh,
I was
okay. Let me.
reading the chat.
Okay. Oh well. Okay, that's probably
My bad.
just
My
fine.
bad.
All right.
Go ahead.
Outside of the Jake Paul thing, I understand. Like you thought that there might have been some information that wasn't there. You didn't want to cover it. That's totally fine. I don't care about that. Fundamentally, 250-pound guy, all muscle, 6'4", towering over 125-pound or 120-pound woman that's 5 foot tall. He's trying to assault her in the face, and then she says, "I don't want this," and he continues. Do you understand why she would protect her life? Okay, good. Then we made significant progress. That's the issue that I have. I don't care about the Jake Paul thing necessarily. That's the issue that I have.
But that's like that goes without question. Like that's
Well,
not
it
even,
took a while to get there. All right, it
No,
didn't go
it
without
didn't take a
question.
while.
It took a while. Yes, it did.
Well, you never asked me that question.
Keemstar, this is how I was.
never.
No. Okay, I was trying to, and this was a better way than I ever have asked you that question before. Does that
You
make
didn't
more sense?
ask me it. You didn't ask me that when we talked about.
You're
with
right.
Paige and stuff, because I'm not interested in these scenarios. That's like easy to answer. It's simple.
Well,
to
it's a
answer that
moral, but it's a
question.
moral question, right? And so
the story that she told, it's. I don't even want to talk about it anymore.
That's fine.
Because look, at the end of the day, you have people in the chat saying like, "Okay, Keem, I just want you to understand how hurtful it is to ask that." No, I don't
that's
understand
fair.
that.
Well, that's the thing.
People ask questions. If people want to ask questions to better understand this stuff and have a conversation, your response is shame. It's shame. You shame me.
Well, I don't think that's fair.
bad
Some
person.
people are just like actually upset.
That's actually the response, and that goes right back to my original point of the internet. Nobody wants to have a fucking conversation. No one wants to like educate people. They want to shame people. They want to shame people.
I don't think that's what
in
it
this
is, bro.
scenario, we couldn't even have a fucking conversation about that exact case. You want to generalize.
No, Keemstar. No, because I already conceded that I understand why you wouldn't want to cover it. So that's the problem. Is like I've always said, like I understand why you don't want to cover it. There's a lot of information that was missing. That's totally fair. But we're focusing on just the claim that is generally invalidating. You may not have thought of it that way. I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. You didn't think of it that way, but that's how it comes off. It's like if we hear a story and of somebody driving a car and hits somebody, and your first question is like, well, why didn't you get out of the road? And it's like, okay, now everybody that's been hit by a car is immediately being blamed for being in the road. But realistically speaking, this is probably not a good example. Like maybe there's alternative circumstances. So we're just having a general moral question about just the morality of the act, not about the situation. Like that's what the point of I'm trying to make. That was a really bad example, by the way. That was fucking abysmal. Okay. Well, I feel like we made progress here.
How many times are you going to bring up this scenario when I come on your show, by the way?
Well,
Keem.
No, it's not. This is the second time we've talked about it, and I've talked to you like 10 times. So it's not every time. You were trying to make a point about how everybody's just like pearl clutching and they don't really believe anything they say and they're just harassing you. I was simply saying that you've done some bad things people want to hold you accountable for.
They are.
Maybe, but I'm just giving you another perspective.
I didn't do anything bad. You know what doing something bad is? Like actually SA or some messed up stuff.
Well, we're talking about actual sexual assault. Like getting assaulted in the face is actual sexual assault.
Yeah, I didn't sexual assault anyone.
Well, no, you didn't. No, but I'm not saying. Oh, you're saying somebody actually doing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not a bad person because he doesn't.
Fair enough. Okay.
So, but that's what we do. Is like You take the littlest fucking thing and make it, oh, bad person, shame, shame, shame. You know what's bad is actually sexual assault. That's bad.
Sure, but there are
All
different
right?
degrees
Rape,
of bad.
that's bad. All right. Fucking around with minors, that's bad.
Sure.
All right. I get called all three of these fucking things on a daily fucking basis.
Well, that's fair. Those are
None
not
of it's-
correct. Sure. I
None of
agree.
it's true. None of it's true.
You know, I agree with you
So
though
what-
on that.
So when you're being fucking psychos online and you're like bad person, bad person, bad person, it's like it's kind of like you know, when certain words are overused where they lose their meaning, like, you know, the far left, like they, for a while, they don't really do this anymore,
Bro,
but
you're
like
on your alt-right pipeline arc here, bro.
a couple years ago they would call everyone a Nazi. Like if you had
Well,
disagreed
they
with
still do
someone,
that.
they would call them a
They'll
Nazi.
still do that now. Sure.
Do they? I thought they stopped doing that.
No,
Anyhow.
Calling you
you
pedo
are a no. You know what? They call you a Nazi, and now the new Nazi is just being a conservative. It's like a bad word
like
now.
it
and
like
so-
lost its meaning.
Sure.
It lost its meaning with the cancel culture and the shame culture and bad person type shit like that happens online now. It's like the real bad people, like it's so
I
off
agree with you.
balance. Like
So
you have like Addison Rae gets a new boyfriend and everyone's like, you fucking whore, kill yourself, like saying all this horrible shit to her, like she did some horrible thing. And then like James Charles, you know, texting a minor, right? It's like the equal amount of hate. Like it's not these things are not equal.
Sure, I agree with you, but okay, so here's what it sounds like to me. It's a problem that I encountered when I was like bigger on TikTok, is that I was doing bad things, but then there was also things I wasn't doing wrong that people would come after me for, and it gets very difficult to to differentiate actual reasonable criticism versus people just not liking me. Do you think maybe you're like you getting unnecessarily and unjustifiably targeted for being like a pedo because your girlfriend happens to be younger than you? Do you think that maybe arguments like that are making you feel like all the criticism you get is invalid and maybe not taking some more reasonable criticisms?
No. I'm not
Okay.
talking about me in general. I'm
Okay.
talking
I know
about the internet in general. This
Sure.
isn't really about me. It's about
Well, you
the
have an
internet
experience
in
with it. You
general.
were just talking about your personal experience with it. So I think that it was fair
But
to
that's
talk
not,
about you.
That's not where I'm coming from.
I think it
I
is.
am a fucking troll. I'm an instigator. You know who I am. Everyone who knows me knows that if people are fucking talking about me, I'm happy. I don't care what you say.
That's
like
fucking weird,
everyone
bro.
that knows me knows that, right? It's not about me. It's about the internet in general. Dude, back in the day, people would say hilarious stuff. They'd be like, drink bleach or whatever. Like, be some fucking dig. And people were attempting to be funny and entertaining. The audience now is in this fucking shame bad person fucking mode. And it's annoying and dumb. It's just dumb.
Okay. I mean, that's an argument. I don't necessarily disagree. I do think that there are
Like-
times where people have reasonable criticisms, though, and it's not a bad idea to listen to them.
The kid that was making fun of me with the fucking the beard dye getting off on the person's face. It was like a girl that had black across her face, and they put out a tweet saying they must have kissed Keemstar. That's funny.
Okay.
That's funny. The guy saying you dye your beard is
Yeah,
not
yeah,
funny.
yeah.
But that is the internet now. The internet's fucking not funny. They're lame. They're fucking so dumb.
I'm sorry, Keemstar. I don't know what to tell you.
It's called accountability. It's called accountability.
Why are you
No,
getting
it's
so
not.
triggered?
No, it's not.
I think
This
that
cat is so dumb, bro.
Hey, listen, my chat is smart. Here's what I think. Listen, here's what I think. I personally think that we did make a little bit of progress in our conversation, and I don't want to beat a dead horse, right? Because a lot of times after people make points to me, it takes me a while to let them sit in. So I think that we could probably move on to a different topic if you wanted to.
I'm pretty much good for the night.
Okay.
I'm tired.
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
I'm just.
Okay.
I'll be right there. I'm getting called in. All right, see you guys.
All right.
See you later.
Take care, Keemstar.
I think you might have gone through them
A little bit. Listen.
It's super simple. But
Listen, listen. If I got through it to him, I got through to his audience. So I can respect that. Okay, that's always been the goal. All right, is always just a little bit at a time. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and another special shout out to all my Patreon and Twitch subs. If you'd like to support this channel further than you already have by just watching the video alone, go down to the links below where you can sub on my Patreon, which will allow you to get your name on this beautiful black wall. Or you can go to the Twitch page and you can actually use a free Amazon Prime sub, if you have Amazon Prime, to subscribe. Thank you very much, guys. Take care.